So, tonight for story time, we're going to read The Fuzzy Duck.
Why fox?
You want the what?
Fox.
The Fox and the Hound?
What is Danny?
You want the Fox and the Hound? Or you want the Disney book?
Danny?
Okay, you change your mind with the Disney book? Okay, let's get the Disney book. Come on. Disney?
Danny.
Okay. Alright. Oh. Alright. We've had a change of schedule. So tonight we will be picking a story from the Disney Storybook Collection. Alright, the Pixar. So the last story that we read was it Nemo? It was Cars. It was Ratatouille. Okay, we've made it to Wall-E. Now Alex is a little under the weather. He had a fever last night and most of the day. Right now he feels a lot better, but last night he got hot after he went to sleep. So I'm gonna put him down and then see how it turns out. So fingers crossed for Alex tonight, okay? Now, are you ready to read the story? Okay, let's do it. Wall-E. Wall-E stood for Waste Allocation Load Lifter, Earth Class. His job was to compact the trash humans had left behind when they abandoned Earth. Wall-E was lonely. He wanted someone to love. One day, while he was out compacting and cubing trash, when he found something special. It was a plant. That night, another robot landed on Earth. Robot! Wall-E fell in love with the sleek new robot at first sight. Her name was Eve. Wall-E followed Eve everywhere she went. Finally, he realized that she was looking for something on Earth, but she wouldn't tell him what it was. He took Eve to his home and showed her all the treasures he had collected from the trash, but none of them seemed to impress Eve. Are the dogs barking? They would bark as soon as I started reading, but that's okay. Then Wall-E remembered the plant. When he showed it to Eve, she stored it in her chest and shut down. Wall-E shook Eve, but nothing happened. No matter what he did, Eve would not wake up. The next day, Eve's ship returned. Wall-E did not want to lose Eve. He climbed onto the ship and held on tight. The spaceship docked inside an enormous ship called the Axiom. When Eve emerged, a cleaning robot named Emo scanned her.
Robot.
There's another robot. Foreign contaminant, Emo said. He shuddered and started scrubbing her. Then another robot named Gopher approached.
Robot.
Yup, another robot. All the robots are in the story. He moved Eve into a transporter and began to drive away. Wall-E followed Eve to the bridge. A robot pilot named Otto was guiding the ship. Probe 1 has returned positive, Otto told the captain. Eve's plant had set off the ship's sensors. It was time to return to Earth. But when Eve opened her chest, the plant was gone. The probe must be defective, the captain said. Send her to the repair ward. Wall-E followed Eve to the repair ward. He did not understand. He thought the robots were hurting Eve, so he tried to rescue her.
Robot.
The other robots chased him away. Yep, there's a robot, and then there's another robot. Eve led Wall-E to an escape pod and helped him inside. Suddenly they heard something approach. It was Gopher. He had the missing plant. Setting the plant in the pod, Gopher went to the controls. When he turned around, Wall-E was holding the plant. Gopher hit a button, sending the pod and Wall-E into space. Eve opened the airlock and rocketed into space after Wall-E. She did not know that Gopher had set the pod to explode. As the pod blew up, a fire extinguisher sputtered by. hanging on it was Wally. He had saved the plant. Eve learned. Move your arm, I can't see. Eve leaned her head against Wally's. A spark passed between them.
Look up there.
Mm-hmm. See the spark? You see the spark right here? It's like that's the sound of a spark. That spark sounds like that. Wally and Eve snuck back on the ship and climbed through the trash chute. Eve burst into the captain's quarters, so she opened her chest to reveal the plan. The captain was thrilled. "You can go back home," he cried. Pressing a button, the captain viewed Eve's memories of Earth. All he saw was trash, but Eve saw memories of Wally protecting her. The captain stared at the plane. Trash or no trash, he was ready to go home. But Otto refused to turn the ship. The robot pushed a button, and a man appeared on the captain's screen.
Robot.
Operation Cleanup has
Robot.
failed.
Robot.
Yup, this is a robot. This is Eve. This is Wally. Operation Cleanup has failed, the man said. Go to full autopilot. Do not return to Earth. The captain stared at the date. The message had been recorded 700 years before. Otto beeped an order and Gopher appeared. He snatched the plant from the captain and threw it down the garbage chute. As if by magic, the plant reappeared. Wally had caught it. Otto attacked Wally, throwing him back down the chute. Then he shut down Eve and dumped her into the chute too. When Eve rebooted, she and Wally were on a garbage heap. Wally had been badly hurt in the fall. Earth, he said. Eve understood. The parts to fix Wally were back on Earth inside his truck. Eve scooped up Wally, blasted a hole in the ceiling, and took off. Robot. Robot. Set.
Sit.
Robot. Meanwhile, on the bridge, the captain jumped Otto. With a lunge, he slammed the button on the console. On the deck below, a hollow detector popped up, ready to accept the plant and begin the trip home. Otto threw the captain to the floor. "Desist," he cried. Otto spun the wheel and the ship tilted dangerously to one side. The ship's passengers fell out of their hover chairs and slid onto a giant pile. In the confusion, Wally dropped the plant. It was buried beneath the passengers. On the bridge, Otto switched off the hollow detector and began to retract, but Wally wedged himself under it. Otto was angry. He reversed the hollow detector, damaging Wally and snapping off his joints. Suddenly, the captain stood up. He reached for the control panel and flipped the auto button to manual. "You're relieved of duty," he told Otto with a smile. On the deck below, Eve found the plant and shoved into the hollow detector. The computer recognized the plant and set a course for Earth. When the ship touched down on Earth, Eve hurried to Wally's truck. She quickly installed a new circuit board in the robot. Wally's eyes... Yep, that's Eve, the robot. Wally's eyes...
The robot.
That's Eve, and that's Wally.
The robot.
It's a robot. Definitely a robot. She quickly...
The robot.
That's a robot, too. See his eyes? Got eyes like a robot. She has eyes like a robot, too. Wally's eyes opened, but there was no life in them. He moved about mechanically collecting trash. He wasn't the same Wally anymore.
What, boy?
Desperate, Eve took his hand. Their heads touched and a spark passed between them. "Eva," Wally cried. "Wally," Eve cried. Back at the ship, the captain found a spot free of trash and dug a hole. He gently placed the plant in the ground.
Where's the robot?
Right here, both of the robots are right there. Eve took Wally's hand. Together, the robots and humans watched as the sun set on their new home. The end. You want to eat a fuzzy duckling too? Alright. Thank you for joining us for Storytime. We'll be back next time with more books.